Getting ready.
Hey everyone, welcome to another RuPaul's Drag Race after show right here on theStreamtv. I am your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my dashingly handsome and beautiful co-hosts. We have Christian, Jay, and Anastasia, all looking wonderful for this award-winning after show.
We tried to pull up a little bit today,
a little bit.
together.
A little bit. I luckily had this in the car, so I was like, it'll work.
The rest of us, when you told us like 2 hours ago,
Yeah,
we're
we're
like,
what are we gonna wear?
like what? Get dressed.
Well, that's what happens when you get home at like 2 a.m. and you have a bright idea and you go, ooh, hope they get it in time.
If not, they all gonna look busted compared to me.
All right, so let's get into this award-winning show. We had the mini challenge, first of all, with the paper outfit.
That's right. By the way,
from Red Carpet Looks.
did anyone feel like this week's episode was a little, at least, more exciting?
The girls woke up
Yeah.
this
Everyone-
episode.
I felt like,
waking
I
up.
don't know what
They were
happened.
waking
Like,
up.
I watched it at Mickey's with you,
Yes.
and the overall tone was that the show was starting to feel more exciting to watch.
Yes.
Maybe they got our notes.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're watching the after show, guys.
Yeah.
I think after a while, I always tell people to give it a couple of episodes because you have to imagine these girls really want this and they're going into this and they're kind of in their shell a little bit. And I think now they're finally starting to break out because they're realizing, A, people are going home.
That's right.
And B, you're trying to win that $100,000.
Yeah.
And be named America's Next Drag Superstar or America's Drag Superstar.
I
like
just
to put
think with the
next
last few
sometimes.
seasons, there were those big personalities.
standouts.
Yeah.
So you had like Sharon Needles, where you're like, oh, you instantly like her.
Yeah.
You had whatever,
Bianca, wherever,
Bianca
yeah.
and all
Bianca
these
Del Rio.
people.
And if you lose, you can get a show on Logo. Don't
That's
worry about
true.
it.
That's true. Listen, winning isn't
challenge,
everything. The
I
paper
actually
challenge
thought
was
they
fun.
killed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
So who were your favorites during the mini challenge?
I really liked, was it Max that did Cher?
Yes,
I
Max
thought
and,
that
Max
was
and Pearl.
really interesting the way, like, even the headpiece was perfectly done. It
Yeah.
was Cher at the Oscars the year she did that black Bob Mackie with the feathery kind of looking thing.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
had
that was
Bjork
interesting.
too.
The Bjork was
The-
very funny.
That's
Kasha
very funny.
And
That was
Kasha, Mrs. Kasha Davis, who I called Sasha last week, by the way.
Oh, did you?
And someone was like, "It's Kasha," and I was like,
Oops.
"Sounds the same."
I mean, it doesn't matter now.
So it's Kasha. Yes, I did like Katya and Mrs. Kasha Davis, Bjork, and I love the fact that Mrs. Kasha Davis dressed up as Joan Rivers and
Yes.
did that. So it kind of tied
It was
everything
savvy.
in. Yeah.
And then RuPaul
Savvy.
was literally like giving a little shout out to Klein Epstein and Parker, who also made this tuxedo right here today.
Oh, look at you with the plug.
Listen, I just gotta, give it up for them.
And then we also, I thought Kennedy and Jaden did well with the Lady Gaga meat dress.
I was.
That's hard to do.
That's really
honestly.
hard to do out of paper,
Yeah.
mind you. And it still looked like that flesh meat.
Yeah,
kind
like
of
that
feel
marbly
to
It
it.
looks
kind
very
of-
Yeah.
fleshy.
I was in love.
Fleshy.
I was in love with Miss Ginger Minj as Little Kim. I
That
love
was
the
funny
side
with the
teeth.
side boob.
I love the
But
side
bless her
teeth.
heart, though, she could not move an inch. She was just kind of stuck, like.
Kind of like Nicki Minaj.
And then I thought it was really funny when they had, they were like, oh, turn around, let's see if it's really J-Lo. And
Oh,
then
for
she had a
Violet
padded
and-
ass. And they're
Yeah.
like, you are not J-Lo. And she kind of ran off screen. That was funny.
But I didn't really like that look.
No, the look was not, I mean, that's kind of
No.
hard to pull together,
Yeah.
that fabric-y tropical thing that
Yeah.
J-Lo did that time at the
Yeah.
VMAs or whatever.
The
Yeah.
Versace dress.
Yes,
was it
that's
Versace?
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or verse snatch.
Yes, that's right.
Snatchy.
Okay, so we move into the workroom and they get their main challenge, which is the Despy Awards.
Right.
And they're presenters of different categories. And because Katya and Mrs. Kasha Davis won, they are the co-hosts. Now, while they were in the workroom and they were working on their presentations and how they were going to present each award, did you guys have a feeling of who would be funny and who could pull this off?
I think they edited it so that we
Yeah.
couldn't tell
Yeah.
who was going to pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think any of them were going to be funny
Yeah.
just by
Yeah.
the little, when Ru came by and was asking them and they were working with Kathy, I thought, okay. First of all, snaps to Kathy Griffin. She gave some really great notes and she was
Yes.
really funny. And I think
Definitely.
That no one paid attention to.
right, because the queens are this year, so defensive
They're
about,
all about
getting criticism.
Yeah.
They have their own plan and they don't want to listen to anybody else.
Exactly.
Which might be why it was kind of a slower
Slower burn
take
in the
to
beginning.
it, you know?
Now, the only pair that I thought would be able to pull it off was Mrs. Kasha Davis and Katya, because I feel like they're just naturally funny. The other pairings, I was kind of like, you have one person, thank God, that might be,
Right.
funny, but Miss Fame and Violet, I was like, whoa.
I was waiting for that train wreck, but it didn't exactly happen.
No, they kind of pulled it
They
off.
kind of sailed through a little bit, I
That's
think.
been happening a lot. The sailing.
Yeah.
You know.
My issue is with Miss Fame. I don't think she's been performing good in any of the challenges. But why is it like she hasn't been on the bottom? Why hasn't she been picked on as much as Violet has? As much as Trixie was the last thing.
Right. Yeah.
She did just as bad in every single challenge, and she's not peeking through in any of them.
Are you calling conspiracy?
She
Are
does
Is that
also
the
have
conspiracy finger?
She also has the
This is my
largest
conspiracy finger.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Oh God, no! It's Palmer Nixon.
Speaking of conspiracies and Nixon, let's talk about Pearlgate. RuPaul versus
Hashtag Pearlgate.
Hashtag Pearlgate. RuPaul versus Pearl. Now, I don't know how you guys felt, but when that whole interaction was happening, the first thing I thought was staged. Like, I kind of felt like there was a little bug in Pearl's ear to go, kind of push Ru's buttons a little bit. Because we've in the past 7 seasons, we've never had anyone
come for Ru
do
like
that. And the fact that it came across, as Max said, this is really uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to watch because you looked at Pearl thinking, why are you reacting this way?
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 2 thoughts on this. One, I remember when it was like to feel young and like defenseless, and so then you get defensive, which I thought, okay, maybe that's it. And the other thing is, I don't know if these queens, I mean, a lot of them don't have respect for the show, the platform, or even the older queens, including now Ru, who's a legend. Like, I couldn't, I mean, the first instinct I had, I was like, you lucky that was not me. Because I would just walk right over and be like, come here, boy in a dress. Like, I really would, and that's just growing up in a Latino household. Christian, help me out here. But you know what I mean? Like, I was jaw to the floor.
Try living in a black household.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't believe that he was like, I'm aware of that. When Ru was like, what did she say? Something about international, like, this is a massive platform.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm aware of that. I was like,
But you know what? It also comes to a lot of the queens just don't feel that they're personally being heard out on the show. Season 1 even with what was her name? She went home on episode. She went home. She was top 3 because they didn't see her. They kept on saying that she came off as a bitch, and it's just frustrating because they only see the workroom on stage, and they're like, we don't see your personality, but you're expecting them to sing, dance, jump through hoops, and show a personality.
It's definitely a way to stand out. So if you're not feeling like you're standing out, going after Ru is like
the worst
way
But
to
this-
stand out.
Yeah, that's true.
It was way.
Another little
You
theory.
remember.
that
We're
I
talking
have,
about it.
Yeah, is that I think Pearl is one of those queens that is used to being like, oh my God, you're so fierce. I love you. And in the hometown,
Right.
you're like the favorite. You step out on stage and you have
Small
that confidence
pond.
because everyone
Now you're in a
tells
big
you how good you are.
Right.
You get into a platform like this where everyone is good and you have to elevate yourself. And I think just like, because I kind of felt like this last season with Laganja. Laganja is a local queen here, and I felt like she was always told from the beginning, oh girl, you're fierce, you're good, you know, you are everything, 10s across the board, and then you get into that platform and you realize everyone else is just as good, and it kind of brings you down a little bit.
For me, that was like literally when I graduated high school, and you're like the star in your high school, everything, and then you enter the real world of and you're like, oh wait, everybody's good.
Small fish
literally.
in a big pond.
Literally,
Yeah.
And in this pond in LA, that pond is so big and polluted.
Yep.
Well, so okay, so what do you, I mean, my thought is like, don't speak to the person who might be signing the check.
Well, I would
Don't
never.
bite the hand that feeds you.
Right.
Exactly. The person
Right.
that gave you this huge platform to show your fierceness, to show how good you are, and you know you're not doing it. Like Ru said, I'm trying to light a fire under your ass because she sees the potential in Pearl, and it's like you're not living up to your potential.
But we'll
You
see
are
if
very
it's a
deadpan.
conspiracy.
Like how it pans out.
How
in
it
the future.
pans
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Because if they're cool with each other after, then we know that this was a
was just a
ploy.
little thing, yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
listen, it's all about TV.
Yeah.
And now let's go on to our Despy Awards.
Okay.
So I thought, and they kept the same pairing that they did in the mini challenge. And so the awards that were being given out were Sexy Sexy Drag Queen, Most Busted, Most Shadiest, Meatiest Tuck.
Right.
And then Katya and Ms. Kasha Davis were just the co-hosts. Who did you guys enjoy as far as the presentation goes in the Despy Awards?
Okay. I'm gonna say Ginger.
I thought-
Ginger, not Ginger and who was her partner?
Candy Ho.
Candy Ho. Candy Ho was just kind of flat to me.
Yeah.
Ginger really stole the show.
Ginger's a true performer, and I think she's one of those triple that sort of does it all.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm just gonna be the first to say I think it's gonna hurt her long term because it's like that Jennifer Hudson thing when you're good consistently. Then they're like, you're kind of boring us, and then you need a little fumble. So I bet you next week
It's okay.
she might have
She'll
a
get
little
an
fumble.
Oscar later.
That's true.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
She's gonna be okay.
I actually, I enjoyed Katya, and I'm like Team Katya and Mrs. Kasha Davis today.
I honestly thought they were going to be the
I
best
actually
ones.
didn't think that I don't think Kasha Davis deserved to go home this week.
No.
Because I thought she gave a strong thing. That's why last week the same
Strong
thing
performance.
Yeah.
Strong lip sync.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt.
But even last week we felt they sent the wrong person home. So now I'm just
Absolutely.
feeling like there's some vision board where the girls are arbitrarily being pulled down.
I did not like Miss Fame and Violet and their presentation. I thought it fell kind of flat.
I liked Violet when she was accepting the award.
Yes.
I found that was funny.
Yes.
But I didn't like Miss Fame through it all. But like I said, she keeps on getting safe and she keeps on coasting by this competition. She needs to be smacked the fuck down.
And speaking of no personality Pearl, she perked up during this.
Yes, she
like,
did.
She actually came out of it, even though the way she paints, she just looks like she's supposed to have bedroom eyes, but it looks like she's about to fall asleep any second. So
That's a literal bedroom.
She's sleeping
eye.
queen.
it's like she's just like. Yeah, I mean, it's like, wake up, Pearl.
Yeah.
Wake
Pearl
up,
them
6.
lashes.
Yeah.
But I felt like
Oh my God, wake up,
Max.
6.
I feel like a little
Devil
nod
Wears
to
Prada.
Devil Wears Prada. I felt like Max and Pearl did a great job, with their presentation and everything. Kennedy and Jaden.
Oddly.
I was kind of on the fence with them.
It could have gone. I think what Kathy
Yeah.
was trying to do with them specifically was just like work what you are. Like if we put Christian and I together, of course if we're doing a presentation, there's going to be Latino jokes and it's going to be, you know what I mean? Because that's what we are.
Yeah.
And I think she was encouraging them to be a little bit more how they are in the workroom, bring their organics, and they just kind of were not. I was like, you look pretty. I think I'm supposed to be laughing, but I'm not.
Kennedy's on my. I had this with Jasmine. Kennedy's getting on that. You are getting this ego about you. Radar, like she was. I'm real comfortable doing comedy. I won the last challenge. I mean, the last challenge really had no winner. She wasn't sticking out. She wasn't phenomenal in it. And this challenge, she's not funny. She's not funny. I mean, yeah, she's good at all the challenges. She's a very talented
She
queen.
can paint. She's beautiful. I mean, she has a lot of admirable qualities. But in terms of like comedy queen, I don't know if that was like.
Stop leaning on your beauty.
And being at a bar and entertaining live is very different skill set than being at a mic in front of an audience and doing that comedic pre-show banter.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. So at the end, the sexy drag queen went to Miss Fame, most busted went to Jaden, most shadiest Violet, and meatiest tuck went to Katya. Now I thought it would be fun if we have our own award show.
Oh God.
I present to you guys the Drags Award.
Oh,
so each of us has chosen a name. No one knows who wins this category. But since I'm holding the drags, I'm going to start off with mine. And
By the way, Tony pulled this on us like last minute, so it's not
2
as funny as
Listen, this is for our own enjoyment. And the award for the most organic, gluten-free, juicy booty from the House of Kardashian, Azalea Lopez, goes to Christian Lopez. Go
Show us
swimming.
that
What did you say, Jay? Go swimming to.
Oh, I said,
Miami.
see, swimming from Cuba to Miami really works on his glutes.
There you
Show
go.
the audience.
There you
He's
go.
our Cuban boy.
Cuban booty.
Oh God, is it my
There you
turn
are.
to give an
yes,
award?
It's your turn.
Okay, mine doesn't have that big of an explanation. It goes most talkative queen, and the award goes to Jay.
Oh my God, God. Oh God. Oh, I spy with my queer little eye. Let's see. Most snatchiest snatch. Oh, she's fresh. Okay, hold on. Goes to Tony.
Oh, yes. Look at that. Well, I've always been known for a snatch. All right, now since I already started, I'm going to pass it over to our biological woman
Oh,
so that she
thank
can
you.
give out
I
our
wonder
very
who won
last
this award. tightest tuck.
Oh.
And let's see who is the winner. It's me!
I call conspiracy.
Listen, her tuck is on fleek. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
tuck on
can you
fleek,
see
on
it?
fleek,
No.
on fleek. And it's real tight too, from what I heard. All right, so let's get right into the lip sync. So in the bottom, we had Mrs. Kasha Davis and Candy Ho. Right off the bat, I thought that, because you know, first 15 seconds, you either have me or you don't. I actually thought Candy had the lip sync because I felt like she let the performance build, whereas Mrs. Kasha Davis just came out of the gate like
But
high,
this is
and there's
lip
nowhere
sync for
to
your
go.
life. Come out.
Well,
Oh, that's
yeah,
true. But I do
you don't
get,
have anywhere to
I get
build.
your point. You have nowhere.
true.
Like if you start
That's
so
true.
manic,
I got
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, I guess I have to sustain that energy.
Yeah.
I thought Kasha Davis was good, but the bearded bitch was killing it, man.
The bearded bitch. That was a read. That was a read.
that was a read.
Katya, I'm just quoting the show.
Now, at the end, of course, we bid adieu to Mrs. Kasha Davis, which I thought was the wrong decision.
I would have liked see her at least make it to Snatch Game because I think she
Yeah.
would. I
I would have
really
done
actually-
Diana Ross. She does such a sickening Diana
You know what
Ross.
she kind of reminds me of? She was very sweet and kind of kind to some of the other girls in last week's after show or whatever that's called, the Untucked. I thought, man, she kind of would be like a nice person to have as the Miss Congeniality of the bunch. You know,
Yeah.
she's like kind of the only one. Well, who else is
Max.
kind of older?
Oh, I was gonna say Max is sweet
Max
to
is
everybody.
sweet, but like
Yeah.
who else is older and can kind of be that like older?
Well, if Tempest was there.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Well, hopefully what these girls who have been eliminated will do is what April Carry-On did, was she continued to show us what she would have done if she was still on the show.
I actually love that.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea. So hopefully
So
you
do
girls
that.
will do that. So we will be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with your fan comments and questions back in a minute.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live. In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
So this is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone,
Hold on.
bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are gonna be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama. Tell them don't ahead, turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the theStream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
Welcome back, everyone. If you are joining us live in our chat room, thank you so much for joining in on the conversation. Don't forget to subscribe to the Stream TV channel right now, since you're already in the chat room.
Just click on it.
Duh.
Yeah.
Speaking of the chat room, what are the gals saying in our chat room?
Well,
Anastasia?
everybody is talking, and one of my favorite things that they're saying is from Mr. Henry 84. He said, "Am I the only one who thinks they should name this season RuPaul's Drag Race Redemption Arc?"
Ooh. You know, they should just start over and bring everyone back and go, just kidding, we're going to start it again.
Could you imagine?
But you're all fired.
Oh my God.
Bring in the new girls.
Another gold is from Cap Train T. Just be honest, the only reason anyone likes Pearl is because he's cute as a boy.
Well, I do
mean,
give him extra
cuteness-
points because he's hot. as a
Cuteness
guy.
does win over in the end.
God,
Sometimes
I
we'll
can't.
see.
I want to disagree, but I agree.
God damn damn this gay gene we have.
And some other fan comments that we have. One comes from Bobby H1295. Hello, Bobby from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm very familiar with you. Bobby says,
How familiar.
Hello, Bobby. We chat about Drag Race all the time. So he says, what's up with Ru? He keeps sending the wrong ones home. #justice.
Ooh. Now, wait a minute. This is something that not only Bobby is talking about. I mean, the streets are talking about it. Everyone.
The streets.
What
I heard in the street was.
Listen, what I heard down at the swap meet was, no, it's true. People feel like that universal thing was last week the wrong person got sent home. This week, people are saying the same shit. So I don't know. I mean, I honestly do feel like this show is I can feel a heavy hand of the producers in it in a way that I don't think I've felt before. And I don't know if it's just the queens they have or what.
Well, we also only see it through behind the lens. There may be other, maybe like in real life, the people who are going home are just nasty, nasty people.
That's true. Sometimes if you're not, fun, good to be around or good on set or whatever, or respectful to everyone, they might stack the deck so you go home early. I don't know.
Well, I guess if I were on a reality show, I would make it all the way through.
Yeah.
We have another comment from Rim Stoudhouders. I hope I pronounced your name right because he's actually a friend of mine. He actually watches all the way in the Netherlands. He says Ru needs to shave and get rid of the beard. Why's she still there? Talking about Candy Ho. Isn't that shady?
I see her as the lip syncer of this season. Every season has that lip syncer that just sends everybody fucking packing.
Well, I see her as the boat, the one that just is sailing through this competition.
Safe.
Yeah.
Oh, what a nickname.
That's hard though, because it's like you want to make choices, but then you also are like, I know if I just do this, I'll definitely make it to the next round. So it's hard because you're like, if you make a big bold choice, they could go either way as opposed to coast right down the center.
Yeah, and if you were in a competition, you want to sail as far as you
and then you get gritty when you need to.
And then be like, okay.
Listen, you can't coast and hope you make it to the top 3, and then boom, you want to pull all your tricks out of the hat.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, let's step it up a little bit.
Yeah, Courtney Act. Oops.
Oh!
We should have changed yours to Shady.
It's hot in here today.
I'm gonna change.
Just kidding.
Change a little bit.
I love Courtney.
We also have one from Stipkins who says, why do they all have a go at Pearl for having no personality, yet plain Jane Candy Ho gets away with it every week?
Oh my goodness!
I mean, I don't know if you can say getting away with it. She's lip synced twice, and we're on episode 5.
Yeah, but she actually didn't go home.
Yeah, but she turns it in the lip sync though.
But listen, you can't be a lip sync queen. Like, you can't be, I'm just gonna do okay in the challenges, but in that lip sync, I'm gonna turn it out. Like, you can't do that. We need to
That's
see.
how Darian Lake got to the Final 4. That's how all these people turn it, because they know, you know what, I may suck at the challenge, but when I'm on this stage right now, I'm gonna send the other bitch packing.
Well, what are you gonna do when if you're named America's Drag Superstar and you have no superstardom behind you?
You're absolutely right.
Hopefully, hopefully this show and this experience will help them, get their tools in place and be a sharper, smarter queen. Because the responsibilities of you don't just win, then suddenly your life blows up. I mean, so many of my friends, even like people like Shangela, who, were on the show seasons ago, she doesn't stop
2 seasons,
touring.
actually.
Yeah, she was on 2 seasons. She does not stop touring. Her schedule is so packed. And if you are just not the queen who can accommodate that kind of life, then you might not work like that and not be as successful.
But it's all about being smart when you're on this platform, being smart in what you do afterwards. And I think that's why certain queens
She's marketed
have
herself well.
Yeah,
exactly.
even if you don't win, some of them rise up after.
That's true.
It's just like we said this week to Pearl. This is one of the biggest platforms, if not the biggest, for drag queens overall in general.
Yeah.
It's global awareness of who you are.
Exactly.
Do you think they're keeping Pearl because they saw the popularity that Milk got last season after she left? And they're like, Pearl and Milk, there's a juxtaposition there.
Yeah.
Where...
Oh, who?
Juxtaposition.
Oh, you use the SAT word on me.
See, we're going to look that up
That's
later.
too much.
Sorry,
Webster
guys.
Dictionary is not available.
I'm not
Can we
looking
get
it
a caption of that at the end of what that is?
But yeah, I actually do see a little similarity between them. They're both handsome men when they're not in drag.
And they both, the fandom for them both is like, Pearl has, if you go on her Twitter page, everyone's drawing pictures of her, loving her, doing all this stuff. So they're probably keeping her because they're like, wow, we made a mistake with Milk
blow
last
your
season.
mind though, as like kind of a newer drag queen with suddenly all this love from people in
Everywhere
different
it comes.
countries. I mean, it's
It can definitely feed your head.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they shot this
Months
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like a long time ago. Like could have been like last summer for all we know.
Yeah.
So could you imagine sitting on this knowing full well like, oh shoot, I go home in episode 3 and all year people are like, can't wait to see you on the race, girl. You know?
Or if you went home episode 1 and they were like, oh, can't wait to see you on the race, girl.
And you're like,
and they blink
don't
and
watch.
you're gone. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe just don't watch.
Well, we hope you guys will continue to watch us here every Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, for another recap of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7. Make sure you tweet us your thoughts and comments throughout the week using hashtag RDR7AS. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next week for a fierce and fabulous recap of your favorite drag show, RuPaul's Drag Race. See you then.
Oh God.
If you guys like the RuPaul Drag Race after show, subscribe to theStream.tv.